Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would maybe start a bit of a series depending how popular or how interested people are in this topic, and that's talking about some of my perfumes because I have a lot. So just for interest purposes, I've put my current perfume tray, the ones that I'm using at the moment that I keep in my bathroom. But I'm actually going to talk today, I think, so that it doesn't get too long, about my all-time favourite perfume. And that's kind of difficult to decide over the course of a lifetime because fragrance is a huge item in my life. I love beautiful fragrances, whether they're perfume or room fragrance or just the kind of smells you get in cooking and nature. But perfume is a particular love. It's one I share with my mother. Some of my earliest memories are playing with my mother's perfume. She too loves French perfume in particular, and had a great collection back in the day when it was less common, and particularly if you didn't have a lot of money, which we didn't particularly have when I was growing up, to have nice perfumes, which she always asked for as a birthday or Christmas present from my dad and others, was quite unusual. So I kind of had that background growing up, and as I say, I've always splashed out on usually good perfume. I had a few of the cheapies in my teenage years, and subsequently, but I always come back to classic perfumes, or niche perfumes as they've developed over the years. So, with that kind of background, I can say there are certain perfumes or fragrance houses that I come back to again and again over the years. Chanel number 5 is probably the one that sticks out the most of those. I don't wear it a huge amount. I have got actually a vintage Chanel perfume, purse perfume. I think it is perfume, not eau de parfum. Yeah, perfume from quite a few years back there, which I'm using up, and I've got an Eau Premiere, which is the light version, on the go at the moment. I have a lot of Chanel exclusives that I wear more frequently these days. So I don't wear that all the time, but I can say it's been kind of a constant over the decades. So in some ways, I could say that's my favourite perfume. But this one, although it's a relatively new perfume, it was created in 2006, which may give you the clue, is the one that I have loved and worn pretty consistently since the day it was created. And I can't imagine ever being without it. And it is, surprise, surprise, Tom Ford Black Orchid. Which is just to me the most delicious fragrance of them all. As I say, it was developed and first on sale in 2006. It's categorized as, I think, an oriental sheep. I would definitely say it's an oriental fragrance. So it's a heavy, heady, spicy fragrance. Sheep, I guess, because it has a lot of quite woody base notes. Although to me, and forgive me, I'm not technical in describing scents. I can't pick out all the notes. I look them up and I can tell you what they're supposed to be, but I can't always get them. But what I get from this fragrance is an uncloying, spicy sweetness. It is definitely, to me, a sweet, almost edible fragrance. But most fragrances that are described in that way, I find cloying. So, for example, this fragrance has notes of dark chocolate in it. Most fragrances who are supposed to have that note in, for example, Terry Mugler's Angel, which is also a very sweet, chocolatey fragrance, I loathe. It's just too cloying to me. But this one has the sweetness, the woodiness, the spiciness. It does have floral notes, quite a lot of floral notes, but I find them difficult to pick out individually. But I suspect maybe what makes the mix of this so attractive to me. So the top notes are supposed to be jasmine, which I generally like, black truffle, yang yang, black currant. The main middle layer is black orchid, which I think is a purely synthetic. Of course, in fragrances, all the notes are synthetic, in fact. But I don't think it's one that has a fragrance in nature that they can recreate. So it's a kind of concept rather than reality. And then the base notes, which I suspect are what I love the most, are patchouli and sandalwood. I don't like patchouli as a single note, but it combines well in this with the sandalwood, which I do like as a single note. Dark chocolate, amber, which I tend to love, vetiver, which I have mixed feelings about. I've talked to you about that in the past. Vanilla and balsam, both notes that I often like. So it's a really delicious, to me, spicy, very distinctive fragrance. I always notice it on other people when they walk past me in the street, and I can smell it. That's probably the second point about it, which I rather like. It has got a knockout silage, or an ability for others to smell it who are not particularly close to you. Silage obviously depends a little bit on the chemistry of the skin of the person who's wearing it, but overall this is a perfume you will tend to smell on people who are wearing it. Not to me in an absolutely overpowering, offensive way that some of the, particularly the 80s perfumes. I've got one over here, Giorgio by Beverly Hills, which it's just, you can't escape it. But it's very definitely there. And I quite like that because it means I can actually smell it on myself. That very often with fragrances, when I spray, after a few minutes, I can't actually smell it on myself, which is a shame, really. It does cling a lot, even more than to the skin, to clothes, because I tend to wear it in the evening particularly. I've got one cupboard where my evening clothes are, and again, because they're usually dry cleaned, I don't dry clean them every time I've worn them, so the clothes, without sounding too gross, get hung up without being washed, so the perfume kind of lingers on them for a bit. And that closet, when I walk past it, I can always smell black orchid streaming out, and I love that. So the silage is excellent. I find the longevity on the skin is pretty good as well. You continue smelling it for quite a long time afterwards. Medium to good. It's not as good as some, but pretty good. And I tend to improve that by wearing the body products in the evening. So I like the body cream. And sad, they don't make this and haven't for a long time, so I'm reduced to finding it with ever more difficulty on eBay. This is the cleansing oil. They don't make any bath products for this at the moment, which is a shame. There's no soap, there's no shower gel or bath oil, which I would, definitely buy. And the skin emulsion, the cream, that kind of comes and goes. I think it is available at the moment in the shops, but there was a long period when it wasn't. And again, I was stocking up on eBay. And I've got as well, from the past, this is a hair oil of the same fragrance. I mean, frankly, it doesn't smell any different or react any different on your skin, so it's just a nice gold bottle of the same fragrance. So yeah, black orchid. I've gone through, this is probably about my fourth or fifth bottle. I do repeatedly buy it. I don't wear it all the time. I don't wear it in the summer in the day because it's a bit too heavy. So it gets less use at this time of year than other times of year. But I do nearly always wear it, if I'm going out or it's a special occasion, and definitely in the evenings, particularly if it's a dressy occasion. This is absolutely my go-to perfume. Drawbacks? Well, I will say this. I can't remember anyone ever complimenting me on this perfume. So if you wear perfume for the effect it has on others, certainly for me, I wouldn't wear this fragrance. But I now tend to wear it, perfume, that pleases me rather than others. I don't want to offend others, obviously, but I like to enjoy it myself, and that's more important than the compliments that some fragrances more than others get. Interestingly, Giorgio by Beverly Hills, I'll talk about this perhaps on another occasion, because this was my go-to 80s fragrance. I didn't wear it for a long time. I picked up this bottle. I think it's enjoying a resurgence at the moment, fairly recently. I invariably get complimented on that perfume when I wear it, particularly by men, I have to say. Another one that I haven't got out at the moment that people often admire is Guerlain's Matsuku on me, and some of the Chanel's. Never the Tom Ford Black Orchid, but that doesn't stop me. It's a unisex fragrance, and I have to say, I think it, to me, when I initially smelt it, I would say it was very feminine because it's so sweet, although it's spicy. Increasingly recently, I've noticed it on men more than women in the street, and because I love it, that's cool with me. I like it. So either gender can wear it, either gender can enjoy it. I did do a video a few months ago. They brought out, was it early this year or last year? I forget, time flies by. A new version of this, Velvet Orchid, which I was incredibly excited about because it was marketed as a lighter version of this, which I thought would be, this is one I'll be able to wear in the summer and more often in the day and for work. And although I could smell some similarities, it was too different to me for me to like it, and I actually sold that. It just didn't do it for me, so it just shows. But the original, since 2006, my all-time favourite fragrance. So let me know what your favourite fragrances are, and if you like Tom Ford's Black Orchid or any of his others. I have got some of his others that I might talk about on another occasion. But until then, bye for now.